Hello, Reed. Welcome to the United Stand. It's Monday, so I'm joined by Ben Foster on the show. How you doing, Ben?
Lovely, thank you. Yeah.
Wearing the away kit.
I quite like this one. This is like the expensive version.
It still reminds me of those sweets my gran used to give me. Remember them? Like, they weren't humbugs, but you could get them in. They're very much like that. I think they're modernised. I think they're based on that. Anyway, fantastic result for Manchester United at the weekend. Probably not a fantastic performance, but I was over the moon with it. But still, lots of potential issues at United. What are your thoughts on United at the moment? I was appalled last week by this pile-on towards, basically, I felt like the media and maybe some United fans were trying to get Ten Hag the sack. He's the first manager in our history to 50 wins, quickest manager to get there. What are your thoughts on United at the moment and where they are?
I thought they were a little bit lucky yet again on Saturday morning. It wasn't a good performance, everybody knows that. But at the end of the day, they got 3 points. But it was the performance, I think, that was the biggest part of it. You know, they just don't excite you, do they?
It was great. It was a real. Well, the positive I take is that on Friday night, I was very much saying, if these players want to get him sacked, this is the game to do it.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you, as somebody in the dressing room, you know, they could have got him sacked on Saturday, couldn't they?
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have even really got the blame. They could have just been, 1 or 2-0 loss to Fulham. We tried, and he's under pressure, and the pressure's off them.
Yeah,
So they obviously got him playing for them. And was he clever in picking certain players and leaving certain players out? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I think he picked a team that he knew that would dig in, basically. Like you say, just you need somebody when it's an away game, especially an early game on a Saturday. Away at Fulham. So, you know what? It's a tough place to go, Fulham. It really, really is. They get up for that. They'll especially get up for a Man United game as well. So it was always going to be tough. I think United have got an incredible record there in the past of winning games there. So I kind of expected United to win, but watching the game, I just kind of kept thinking, they're sort of a bit huffing and puffing here, really. I couldn't see them getting the breakthrough. And I saw your clip about Bruno when he came through, and you're going, don't shoot. Oh, shoot, yeah. Oh, shoot.
Well, judging on his shooting for that game, I was just like playing. I almost wanted to pass it in. So I was very surprised. I was very happy when it went in.
Do you know what? I'll give Bruno his dues. You know, I think obviously there's a lot been said about Bruno lately about his, the captaincy and his waving of his arms and stuff like that. But you can see he's probably one of the only players in there that's got that real urgency, and he can sense it at that moment in time, and he wants to do something about it, which I think is an incredible quality to have. He's a fantastic player. He is. Everybody knows he's a fantastic player. I think just the show that he brings sometimes a little bit needless. He doesn't need to do that kind of stuff. But I was impressed with him when, like say, the final few minutes, he just wanted the ball. He wanted to get on it. He wanted to try and make something work. And like you say, if you take your shot, you've got a chance of scoring. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to ask you about the goal, the goal that wasn't given.
Yeah.
I mean, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with it.
You think it wasn't a goal?
Yeah, I don't think it was a goal. Do you know why? Because if Harry Maguire is offside...
Comments are going to love you.
No, listen, it's as simple as this, right? If Harry Maguire is offside when the ball is initially kicked, right? If he's in that offside position, yeah, that defender that's behind him, he's running with an offside player, so he has to be offside. So if he's onside, if he times his run by a split second, it's absolutely not a problem whatsoever. But the fact that he's offside means that defender can't get to the ball. You know what? He can't get to the ball. It's as simple as that. Because he's offside, Harry Maguire can't go and challenge that ball, right? And if he don't go and challenge that ball, that defender just kicks it away. It's as simple as that.
The problem with it is that against Fulham a few weeks ago, Akanji stood in an offside position.
Yeah.
In the line of the goalkeeper, kicks at the ball, and they go, not offside, play on.
Yes.
And this is the thing that's annoying people, is that it's that when you bring in the consistency in, are you doing it? Well, they're not. It's week to week. They're changing. It's frustrating, and that's why I'm glad we got that late goal. Because
this is why we say it every week on the show, on my show, on your show, on every show. Just get rid of VAR because that wouldn't have to checked a million times.
No.
The liner would have just carried on playing on. Nobody would have been bothered if you'd have looked back at it, and you'd have seen that Harry Maguire's fringe was offside by that much. Nobody's going to moan about it. Even the Fulham fans, really, genuinely, they're going to say, do you know what? It was so fine that you can't really moan about that, can you? No. But as usual, it takes 3 or 4 minutes to assess it. The flow goes out of the game. Everybody gets deflated. Us at home are sitting there like going, oh, my God, come on. Everybody in the stands fuming with it. It's just same old. I
think you've nailed it, really, because you know what? The joy's gone out of a goal anyway now. You never celebrate it fully.
Ever.
And when I watched it back, I was like, yeah, Garnacho's onside, the pass is back to McTominay, that's a goal, it's a goal. And then they go waiting again after about a minute and you go, well, what are they looking for? So you watch it again and you go, I still don't know what they're... Oh, now I know what they're looking for. You don't need to go looking for stuff like that. I don't think.
Even when when Bruno scored his goal in the last minute, I swear to you now, I've been built to just go.
What
wait, I'm not. There's no point there's no point in jumping about. And then I'll wait and I'll see it, and then I'm like, oh, it's a goal.
Yeah.
And then so you've lost that joy. Then you've lost that momentary joy of where you lose yourself when you buzz off a goal, and that's the whole reason why I hate VAR.
I want to talk to you about Rashford in a moment, but just sticking with Ten Hag and the team, Copenhagen and Luton to come, probably two decent fixtures to go and win. Do you think the pressure's off Ten Hag now, in the sense that then there's an international break, might have some injuries back? I don't think he was in danger last week. I think the club were going to stick by him because of financial reasons, probably, and the majority of the fans were with him. But it really was building last week. The media wanted it. They wanted first sacking, I suppose. Certain fans, I think, were over the top. But that result on Saturday probably just buys him another bad result anyway, even if he does get one.
Yeah, it probably does, to be fair. I think obviously the Newcastle game in the week in the Carabao Cup was a big blow because he's losing, and then there's losing at home 3-0 against Newcastle.
It's a trophy that you'd probably look to win again. As well.
Newcastle didn't even put their strongest team out either, and they got dismantled by United. If you could see the passion that the Newcastle players played with and the intensity, that's all Man United fans want, They want players to be able to put that sort of effort and that desire in as well. So that I think that was a massive blow, and the pressure after that game was building like you wouldn't believe. You see all the quotes from Gary Neville saying that I think he's probably on his last legs, to be fair, and it probably was that way. So this result is huge for him. That goal going in with literally minutes to go has kept his job for at least a month, but. It's a big chance for him now. Like I say, if you beat Copenhagen, you should do. Yeah. Luton, you should do. And then you go into your international break. So it's a month now where he can try and just get a bit of good sort of feelings around the place, around the training grounds. And if they can take this into the games for the rest of the season, it might help them lift up the table. They just need good performances, though. It's as simple as that. Copenhagen, Luton, good performances. Wins, obviously, but very good performances. If they can win the games 3-4-0, then it's sort of like almost all forgotten. Let's just move forward.
Yeah, I agree with that. And Rashford, I was aware of it last Sunday night, actually, when we came on here on Monday. I was aware of it, and obviously you don't want to be breaking that story, and it did get broken, that he'd been out after the Manchester derby, probably for his birthday, stayed out into the early hours. I didn't think it was a massive issue. Apparently, Ten Hag did have an issue with it because he wanted them in training on Monday because of the performance on the Sunday, and he's told him it's not acceptable. Apparently gets injured in training on Friday, and not even on the bench for Fulham. Do you think he is injured, or do you think he's dropped? I mean, I suppose if you're going to punish him, I was saying last night, put him on the bench, because then at least you've got him in as an option. Yeah. I suspect he probably has got a bit of a knock, but then again, you've played with players who've got knocks and don't want to play. I don't know. What do you think's going on with Rashford? Because it's a bit of a difficult one.
I think when you lose your local derby against Man City, you can't go out. It's as simple as that. You can't go out. We knew as footballers that even if you did lose on a Saturday, then going out afterwards it's a risky business. If someone takes a picture or somebody lets the club know or then there's a chance that you're going to get basically. So
it's a bit of an unwritten code then.
Yeah, it's an unwritten code. You're going to get told off basically. Your manager's going to find out about it and he's going to tell you off. When you're somebody as famous as Marcus Rashford, you definitely can't go out in Manchester. Was it in Manchester or was it in London?
No, Manchester. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going out in Manchester after you've just got pumped in the local derby. Your performances haven't been great. You're having a tough time of it anyway. Just make a decision on that, and just say, listen, let's just stay at home. Even if you have a few drinks at home, it's cool, but just don't put yourself in that spotlight. Don't put yourself in that position.
Are they, that's a question I wanted to ask, and I'm not levelling this at Rashford, but are they drinking when they're out?
Without doubt they are.
But I thought this was something that came in with Wenger, that even a couple of drinks on a Sunday night before you play on a Wednesday can impact your body. So you shouldn't even be drinking at all during the season.
Yeah, but they're human beings, mate. They're human beings.
I'm not saying Rashford. It's just a general question. I didn't think even drinking was a good idea when you're in the Premier League.
I don't think I've been on a night out with a footballer where they don't drink. The only one I can think of is someone like Craig Dawson. Craig Dawson don't drink. Yeah, he's literally the only player.
And look at him. He's still playing.
Exactly. He's a Rolls Royce as well. But yeah, everybody's having a drink when they go out. But you've got to imagine as well, these lads, they're human beings as well. They want to have a little unwind. They want to relax from it. You can imagine the stress and the weight of the world is on Marcus Rashford's shoulders.
Well, they'd only do it at home anyway, wouldn't they?
Yeah, well, exactly that. So he just wants to go and let his hair down, have a nice time, and just try and forget it for a few hours. But there's a time and a place for it. And in Manchester City Centre, when you've just lost to Man City, you can't go and do that. So was he dropped? Was he, did he have a little knock? Did he have a niggle, an injury? I would probably say that there's a good chance that the manager's probably gone, do you know what, I'm just going to leave you out of this one. Whether he's dropped him, whether he's just said, listen, maybe, there's been bad stories about you this week. You acted unprofessionally last week, and I'm just going to leave you out of the squad for this one. Maybe it's something like that. I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise to be honest.
I wouldn't be opposed to that, I've been saying that for, a lot of people are saying Rashford should have been dropped weeks ago. I've always been of the opinion that he's the star player of the team. Ten Hag's put a lot of investment in him, whether we agree with it or not. A manager's allowed to have favourites, and he's waiting for that goal from Rashford. And I think he thinks when he scores that goal, everything's going to be fine. So he's probably waited a little bit long. But I think we are at that point now where, so what? Just drop him. It might be the spark. Yeah. I don't actually have a problem with him being dropped. No, it's not like Rashford. I mean, I heard Van der Ven last night saying that the hardest player he's played this season was Rashford when we played there. There's definitely a good player in there, and I think you've just got to try and, maybe dropping him does spark him.
Well, this happened, didn't it, last season, I think, when didn't he miss the bus or miss a team meeting or something like that? Wolves. He was in good form as well, and he's dropped him for it. He's come back, and last season he was on fire anyway, so he hit the ground running again. And sometimes this acts as a bit of a catalyst. It can be a bit of a firework up your backside to go, do you know what? Get your stuff together now, yeah? You can't go doing that stuff. Act a bit more professionally, and then on the pitch, it can start to be slow steps, because like you say, there is a player in there for sure. We're just not seeing it yet because I think he's feeling the weight of the world on his shoulders.
Do you think Rashford will turn it around this season, or do you think it's going to be a difficult season? I know it's a difficult question, but you're right.
I think it's going to be a difficult season for everybody involved with Man United, to be honest with you. I think there's too much up in the air, there's too much lingering, too much of a bad smell and a bad taste that it's not going to be a fantastic season for them. If they can get top six, I'd say it's a very good season for Man United.
To be fair, ex-players getting a lot of stick this week. Check out the football fill-in. But Ben Foster on this channel, a year ago, I said, we're going to see Ten Hag ball. When's it going to happen? You said 18 months. Well, I don't think you're going to be right with 18 months, but you were right in the sense that it will take a long time for a team to play a certain way.
Yeah.
I suppose people would say, why hasn't it taken Ange that long? But I mean, Man United's a different club, isn't it?
Yeah.
Man United, Spurs players are a different level of player.
Exactly.
Man United players don't seem to like hard work.
It's exactly that. It's not a different level of player, it's a different level of person, mate. That's the big difference in all of this, and that's the problem in all of this, is Tottenham seem to me to have good quality people that want to work hard and they want to dig in. And hard work will always overcome skill, It will always overcome skill every single time. So Man United, they've got some talented players for sure, but if you're not willing to put the work in alongside it, you're going to get beat. It's as simple as that. And it's, Tottenham will tell you tonight, aren't they? I cannot wait for that game because I want to watch Ange ball. I want to see Tottenham flying around, ratting around, doing it all properly. That's what I want to watch.
That's the problem. I watch United on Saturday and it's like watching, well, it is watching your local team, and I'm not from Manchester, but what I mean by that, you're watching your team.
Yeah.
That's the team you support. I'm not expecting good football. I'm expecting good football when I watch Arsenal Newcastle at R5 or Spurs Chelsea tonight, and I'd love United to start playing good football. But I think anybody who's expecting that at the moment, it really is just about, we're in grind survival mode.
Yeah, I know.
Even Luton next week, it's like just get the win, just get the win.
But it wouldn't surprise though, would it? Even Copenhagen, it wouldn't surprise if something went drastically wrong.
It's a horrible thing when you got Scott McTominay looking at that banner where they said just put the effort in, and he's had a word with the players and said, you know what, they're paying a lot of money. I couldn't believe him saying that. Scott McTominay's just figured out that he's playing for United and earns loads of money, and the fans are telling him to work. You know what, lads? I've seen that banner.
I've got an idea. Yeah. Why don't we work hard today? Because they pay a load of money to travel and support us. Why don't we put a shift in today and try and get 3 points? Imagine that.
If only they'd been doing that since August.
Do you know what? Scott McTominay, I'll give his dues, though. He will always give you a shift, that lad. He will always give you a good shift.
Look, I've given McTominay stick, I've given Maguire stick, I've given Johnny Evans stick. It's never personal.
Yeah.
But I think, if you want to win a title, you don't play those players. But if you want to beat Fulham away and you want players that are going to... in the situation Ten Hag's in, you want to put players on the pitch that might not be the best, but they're going to give you trust. You can trust them. And you can trust them, 100%. Thanks for coming on, Ben, as always.
Pleasure.
Make sure you get your comments in below, smash a like on the video. That's been the United Stand.